So my name is Joanne, and again, we are so appreciative of all of you tuning in. It means a lot to me, and it means a lot to obviously our whole yoga community that we can still come together. So Jonathan and Adi, Vicky, and probably others have been doing so much work behind the scenes, and their generosity has just been really overwhelming. So I want to give them a big shout out so that this can all happen. And again, just practicing our patience and santosha, our contentment with the situation that we're in. So we're going to be doing heart openers, shoulder work tonight, relieve tension here, maybe incorporate a little bit of balancing poses because those can help make us feel a little bit more balanced from the inside out. I'm going to have us start in a gentle heart opener and shoulder release. So you'll either want your blanket or your towel. And if you've been tuning in for my last couple of classes, I'm repeating some of these poses. So this is going to be my main focus for the month of April. So I'm taking my blanket that's in this long rectangular fold, and I'm just going to start rolling it up into my roll. So it looks like this. If you don't have a blanket tonight, you're more than welcome, again, like I showed earlier, to use a bath towel. Same thing, fold it in half long ways, roll it up. It'll be a more gentle lift, but you'll still get that little lift underneath the chest. Now I want us to take the roll and we'll place it towards the back of your mat. There needs to be space behind the roll for the head and the shoulders. And for this pose, we're actually letting our shoulders fall back down to the ground, so the roll will hit you underneath the tips of the shoulder blades. So not down here in the low back, not on top of the shoulder blades, just below. And then we'll let our shoulders and our upper arm bones fall back down to the ground. We will bring our arms into this cactus position, so the elbows will be bending to 90, backs of the hands flopping to the floor. So the back of the head, the shoulders, and the arms should all be in contact with the ground. I have a pillow waiting for me towards the front of my yoga mat for my legs. So when you start to come down onto that roll, you'll want to scooch slightly forward so that you can release your low back to the ground. Slowly release your body over that roll. And then bend at the elbows, let your shoulders and the head fall to the ground. So you should feel this exaggerated lift here right across the chest line. Really wonderful pose to counter all the rounding. I was bent forward digging in the garden in the yard all day long, so I was really hunched in my upper body. So this pose is really going to help alleviate that tension. As far as the legs, taking care of your low back, bend your knees up to the ceiling and bring the knees to touch. If you want to add a hip opener with your heart opener, Baddha Konasana, soles of the feet come together, resting on the floor or your pillow, and the knees fall open nice and wide. Of course, you can always just stretch your legs out into Shavasana, flop your feet to the floor, and let your toes fall open. So I'm going to give you another moment here to organize yourself on your props and to get comfortable. And once you're down on your props here, loosen things up. Make all your adjustments. So loosen up the clothing, adjust your props. We want to get all the wiggles out in the beginning so that we can relax in the end and find some stillness. Move your ponytails if you have them. Find the very back center of your skull. Let's all close our eyes and allow our hardworking eyes from our day to relax and sink into the sockets. Start to relax all the small muscles across the forehead, the brow, and the eyebrow center. Move the cheeks, wiggle out the mouth, relaxing the tongue and the jaw. And again, feel the weight of your shoulders touching the ground, elbows. If the backs of the hands aren't touching the ground, Probably just tightness through the front of the chest and the shoulders. So gravity, contraction, the hands out, or maybe place another little small pillow or towel underneath the backs of the hands. If my hands don't easily touch, I like to just let them hang in space and let gravity do the work. Now enjoy the stretch across the front of the chest. Feel it through the whole front of the rib cage, the sternum, elevating the back of the heart, and proving our breath, stretching those muscles so that we can increase our lung capacity here, countering all the forward folding we do throughout the day. Let the low back sink towards the ground and relax the belly and all the abdominal muscles completely. Soften those larger muscles around the hips, the hip crease, the buttocks, the thighs, and feel the weight of the legs flopping towards the ground, whatever position you have them in. As we're reconnecting to our physical body here and taking some inventory, let's recognize any areas that we might be healing or taking care of today. Pausing on those areas for a moment and sending a nice deep breath into them. Exhaling, allowing those areas to relax as well. Remembering every day is a new day. Our yoga practice is flexible and it adapts to us and it gives us what we need. We never have to force or push or pull our body into a pose. We practice santosha or contentment for who, what, and where we are in this moment. So as the body continues to relax, let's start to spread our awareness to the breath. Simply observe and watch the body breathe in. And observe and watch the body breathe out. Every inhalation is an opportunity to fill ourselves up with fresh air, prana, and energy. Every exhale is an opportunity to let go of stale old air and energy. Cleaning our body out, letting go of any tension, tightness, stress, or worries. Let it all go. We'll try to deepen this breath for a few more rounds of focused breathing and practice our 3-part pranayama. So on our next inhalation, we'll start to relax the abdomen even more, let it expand. Continue to fill your body up into the rib cage, the chest will expand all the way up into the throat. On our next exhale, we'll reverse, emptying from the top to bottom. Soften the throat, soften the rib cage, let the belly fall back down into the body. The inhale allows the body to expand, starting from the bottom. Let the belly rise. Breathe into the rib cage, the chest rises, all the way up to the brim and the throat. On the exhale, empty the body back out top to bottom, softening the throat, the chest, drawing the belly in towards the body. Move at your own rhythm and pace, breathing as smoothly and evenly in and out through the nose. And we're allowing this breath to roll in and out, just like the waves of the ocean. Let's all try to follow one more round of 3-part breathing. Maybe this is our biggest breath of our day yet. So on our next inhale, we'll let everything expand, belly, rib cage, chest, to the throat. Inhale as much as you can, fill yourself up completely. And on our next exhale, we'll take the time to empty everything back out. Exhaling, exhaling, squeezing out every last drop of breath. At the very bottom of that exhale, we'll let go of trying to control and follow the breath for a moment. So let it go wherever it wants. It knows where to go. Just let it release. Start to just simply notice the body again, relaxed over the props. Any sensations, stretching in the body that you might feel. Feel the contact with the ground below. And let's gently start to wake the body up, giving those toes a little wiggle, the fingertips. Rock the head side to side, wiggle the face. If your knees are open wide in Baddha Konasana, float your knees up together, and then let's all try to stretch your legs straight out on the yoga mat. And then stretch your arms overhead. So just stretch your fingertips towards your back wall, whatever room you're in. Point and flex your feet a couple times. Spread your fingers, spread your toes. Go ahead and stretch out your right side a little bit longer. Stretch out that left side a little bit longer. And a big breath in. Stretch your whole body out. On the exhale, keep your right arm where it is. Walk your feet back in towards the body. Draw your knees up and roll to your right. Let your left hand come to the ground in front of the heart. Of course, you can roll to whatever side is most comfortable. And then pushing down into the ground, we'll lift ourselves up just enough to take our props out from underneath us. So move your roll out of the way. Move your pillows out of the way. And we'll lie flat back down to the ground. So you'll roll right back onto your back. Readjust your clothing, your hair, your surroundings. Realign the body. Draw the shoulder blades under. And let's walk our feet in towards our sit bones. So your toes are pointing straight to the front of your mat, 4 to 6 inches apart. Knees pointing straight up towards the ceiling and then towards your toes. We're moving into flowing bridge pose. Those of you that might happen to have a yoga block or that big book or pillow, you may place it between your inner thighs if you'd like. Draw your arms down beside you, palms down, shoulder blades under. Your drishti is at one spot on the ceiling, so keep your head in neutral. Squeeze the buttock, squeeze the prop if it's there, and inhale, float your hips up towards the ceiling. Allow the chest to rise and move towards the chin, but the neck should be in its natural curve. Exhale, lower the hips back down. So follow your own rhythm and breath. The inhale strengthens the back side and stretches the front. Feel the stretch across the quads, the hip flexors, gentle inversion. Exhale, lower it down. Remembering that when you lift up, all the weight transfers into the meaty part of the shoulders, not the neck. Those of you that want to add the shoulder massage, inhale, float your hips up, arms reach up and all the way overhead. On the exhale, lower the hips down, your arms float back down. So this is a nice way to massage those muscles between the shoulder blades. And still feel that nice big stretch across the front of those hip flexors. But use your glutes. Strengthen the back side here as you stretch the front. Let's float through one more flowing bridge, Setu Bandhasana. We'll meet on the exhale. Next time you lower down, pause there. Take the prop out. Just windshield wipe your knees side to side a couple times. Draw the belly in to hug your knees in. Massage your back. Bring the knees to neutral. Stretch both legs straight up towards the ceiling. Hold behind your thighs. Give your legs some support here. Point and flex your feet. Massage or vigorously rub up and down the backs of those hamstrings to help those muscles lengthen and stretch. Tight muscles, the knees are bent. Grip those thighs and press your thigh bones forward into your hands so the legs might move slightly away from the body. The whole time, you're drawing that low belly in to protect your back. Supta Konasana. Inhale, open your legs nice and wide into our big V stretch. Elbows to the floor, holding the weight of your legs from the outside. Roll your ankles a few times. If you want a bigger stretch, move your hands to the inside to massage those muscles up and down. You're still trying to open up the eye of the knee, pressing your heels out. Now gravity is really helping us give a big stretch. And just be mindful. If you're taking care of anything in particular for your body, all these things are just suggestions. Make it work for you. On the exhale, let's squeeze those legs back up to waterfall pose. Another nice and gentle inversion. Hug your knees back into the body. Float the nose up to the knees to stretch the root of the neck in between the shoulder blades. And then bring the head down, right arm beside the head. Roll back over to your right and pause in sleeping baby pose for a moment. Bring the left hand to the ground, push down, turn your heart towards the ground, stretch your top leg to the front of your mat, and we'll slowly bring ourselves up to our seats. So again, in the seated position, feel free to move up onto a chair. So we're gonna do some of our spinal movements and open up our shoulders more. To fold a blanket, use a pillow. I sit up on my meditation cushion, so it's thick and firm and several inches high. Whatever we're sitting up on, find your sit bones. Sukhasana, easy cross pose. Siddhasana, heel to heel. Move the flesh out of the way so that you can feel your sit bones connecting to the support below you. Make any adjustments here. Lift up through the front of the spine as much as you lift and lengthen up the back of your spine. Ears over shoulders, shoulders over hips. Extend your arms out beside you, palms up. Let's take a big breath in. Just float your arms up to the ceiling. The chin can gently lift. Turn your palms out. Exhale, fingertips to the floor, lowering the chin to the chest to stretch the root of the neck. Keep the chest up. Inhale, reach up, chin up. Drishti can gaze up. Exhale, release back down, chin to chest. One more, centering breath. Let's meet on our inhale, reaching both of those arms up. Low belly stays drawn in. Bring your palms to touch. Exhale, hands to heart. If you're sitting cross-legged, switch up the cross of your legs if that's an option. Opposite foot in front. Continue to root the sit bones equally. Draw up. Mula Bandha, your pelvic floor can be engaged and lifted. Uddiyana Bandha, lower abs. Into we ball 10 fingers. Switch up that grip if you're working on balancing the hands out. Flip your palms forward, intentional rounding of our back. So now we are drawing the belly and chest in, rounding the back, chin to chest. Inhale, tip your pelvis forward, float the arms up beside the ears and really lengthen up the spine. Exhale, you're scooping, tucking, and rounding. Wonderful stretch for the upper back. Stretch out those tight muscles. Big breath in, wonderful pose to improve our posture, drawing those upper arm bones back. One more, seated cat-cow with your breath. Again, we'll meet on the inhale with the arms floating up. Open the hands up. Active twist tonight. On the exhale, use your muscles. Keep the length. You have a rod running up the spine through the crown of the head. Squeeze and twist to your right. Fingertips might reach to opposite knee and behind you. The head and the eyeballs will follow. Inhale, reach everything back up to center. Keep this length. Exhale, rotate and twist to your left. Head, neck, and eyes can follow. Again, inhale up to center. Exhale, rotate over that axis. So keep the spine as long as you can. Maybe we go a little further this time. Big breath in and up. And one more time, bring everything out to your left. Twists are so wonderful to help release tension in our muscles. Big breath in and out. Exhale, flip your palms out, fingertips to the floor. So one more movement here for the neck and shoulders. We'll flow tonight side to side for seated triangle. Inhale that right arm up. Keep that sit bone rooted belly in. Lean to your left. You're leaning in a lateral plane. Your head follows the line of your spine. A little bit of work on the inhale. Pull yourself up. Switch sides. Keep the sit bone rooted. You're stretching the waist, the rib cage, the shoulder. The inhale pulls you up. Exhale takes you back over to the other side. So we'll keep going again with the breath. As those muscles start to lengthen and stretch, you might notice you can go a little further. Now look, one option is to look down to the bottom hand as you lean over. That'll be a little bit more for the back of the neck. Another option is to look to the top hand when you lean over. And that's a little bit more stretch for the chest. So take it one more to your left side. And one more to your right side when you get there. And then we'll meet back on our inhale, both arms reaching up. Stretch both side bodies, root both sit bones. Bring the palms to touch. Exhale to heart. All right, good job, y'all. Let's move to our tabletop, however you want to get there. Walking forward, stretching your legs out. And I'll give us another moment to resituate ourselves on our mat. Add extra cushion below the knees if you'd like that. Spread those fingers wide as you can. Hands have to be as wide as the shoulders, if not slightly wider. And you can turn your index fingers so they're pointing forward. So even though we're rooting and grounding down to the mounted index finger and thumb, there's still external rotation in those upper arm bones. And I'm pushing into the ground, so I want my arm muscles to do some of the work. A little bit of space between your knees and feet so they're hips width apart, thighs perpendicular to the floor. Slight engagement of your core, the spine is in neutral. Drishti slightly forward so the neck stays long. Keep your hips level, stretch your right foot back. Shift your weight back through that heel as much as you want to intensify your stretch. Feeling that up the back of the calf, the knee. Exhale, right knee down. Stretch your left foot back. Hips nice and level and square, equal weight in the hands. Exhale down. Re-extend your right leg back. This time, strengthen by lifting the right leg up, toes pointing down. Low back and hips are still in neutral. Left arm forward, palm in, thumb up, spinal integration. Let's do a little movement tonight. So on the inhale, you point the toes of your right foot and flip your left palm up. Lift up a little higher. On our exhale, let's draw the knee and elbow underneath the body as much as you can. Inhale, you re-extend and lift. The exhale contracts and pulls you under. This pose is called Surya Kadasana or sunbird pose. It strengthens the back and the front. Inhale, lift and extend. Left hand down. Keep your right leg lifted, float it over to your left and down. The top of the foot can come to the floor or tuck your toes back under. Now look over that left shoulder and stretch your whole right side. Inhale the head and leg back up. Exhale, tabletop. Fingertips or fists for wrists at any time. So remember your wrist options. If you're in Hasta Bandha, the fingertips are rounded, driving down, or the knuckles, I should say, or a nice strong punching fist. Flow through a couple rounds of your cat and your cow to neutralize the spine before we do the other side. Inhaling into that gentle back bend. Exhale, scoop, tuck, and round. Stretch out the back. Now in that sunbird pose, you may also just do the leg or just do the arm. So make it work for you. There's so many different variations, endless variations of each pose. Come back to a nice strong tabletop. Draw that low belly in. Stretch your left leg back. Squeeze that left leg up to hover parallel to the floor. So choosing to stay here. Or we'll stretch the right arm forward, palm in, thumb up, adding a balancing element. Your breath is flowing naturally, smoothly in and out through the nose. Surya Kagasana, point the toes of the foot, flip the palm up. The inhale, you try to lift higher. The exhale pulls and squeezes the elbow and knee underneath. We'll do 3. Inhale to lift and lengthen. Exhale. 1 more. We'll meet on that inhale, lifting, lengthening. Exhale, just the right hand down. Float your left leg over to the right and down. Top of the foot or toes tucked. Look over the right shoulder, stretching your whole left side. Inhale, floats the leg and the head back up. Exhale, tabletop. Fingertips, fists for wrists at any time. Take a few rounds of your cat and your cow to neutralize. And let's come off those hands completely for a moment. Balasana, child's pose, any version you'd like. Wide knee, always a nice option. Knees wider than your hips, touch the toes. Drawing your hips back to those heels, and then melting the belly, the heart, and the head to the ground. Keep the hands almost as wide as your yoga mat if you do have tightness in your shoulders. If the head doesn't easily touch the ground, place your forearms under the head or a prop. Keep the hips elevated or place your towel behind the knees if that's more comfortable for the knees in this pose. And let's all take a couple more deep breaths, stretching out the whole back. Inhale, float the head and the body back up. Reposition your body to your tabletop. Hands walk 1 hand's distance forward. Fingers wide, hands as wide as the shoulders. Draw that low belly in, tuck your toes. Floating the hips up and back, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Pedal your heels to stretch out the backs of those legs, bending the opposite knee. Quick little reminders for alignment. Root through the mound of the index finger and thumb. Externally roll the upper arm bones away from the ears, drawing the shoulder blades down the back, lengthening the side bodies. The neck is long and the head floats. Round the low belly in, front body to back body as you draw your thigh bones back to the back of your mat and shift the weight down the backs of your legs, regardless if your heels touch or not. Bend the knees if you have tight low back or hamstrings. Gentle inversion, really nice at the beginning of the day, end of the day, to just redirect our energy more towards the heart and the head. Let's take 1 more breath, maybe find a moment of stillness in the pose. And the inhale, look forward, baby step, feet to hands, hands to feet, Uttanasana, forward fold. Feet stay parallel to each other, toes point straight forward. You may ragdoll and go into the fuller version of the pose, straightening your arms and head towards the mat. Modify for your back by bending your knees deeply and placing the weight of your hands on your elbows. It still gives you the opportunity to gently release the head. Inhale, halfway lift, hands to shins, focus on your upper back. So draw those shoulder blades back, compress and squeeze. Do it a little bit more exaggerated on the exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. You're lifting the chest, opening the chest, drawing the crown of the head forward, flattening out the back. Exhale, fold. Again, inhale up, a little bit more strengthening. Locust your arms beside you, palms in. Exhale, fold. And one more. Inhale, halfway lift, squeeze, open the chest and heart. Exhale, let's sit back to Utkatasana. Shrug your shoulders from your ears. Make sure your knees are pointing towards your toes, bellies in. Bringing the shoulders out of the equation, hands to heart. So, working now into a little bit of our balance. Try to lift your right foot from the floor into a hover. Just see what happens. Focus your eyes. Make sure you're in a safe space. Bring your right foot down. Try to lift your left foot up. See what happens on this side. And smile. Remember, no judgment. We're just exploring. It's called a practice for a reason. Bring your left foot down. Maybe sink a little further down. Release your arms down, and on your inhale, draw a big circle out and up. Straighten your legs and come all the way up to extended mountain. Reach for the ceiling. Bring your palms to touch. Exhale, hands to heart. Tadasana, release your arms beside you. Extend fingertips down. Floating head on shoulders, shoulders over hips. Pick up those toes, activate, mount a big toe inner heel, mount a pinky toe outer heel. So important to remember, soften the knees instead of jamming your knees back, and instead strengthen the front of the quads, lift up through Mula Bandha in the pelvic floor, pull in through Uddiyana Bandha in the lower abs. And you're lengthening the upper buttock down towards the heels. But the head is super soft and floating. So another balance, our palm tree pose. More of a challenge, step the insides of the feet and legs to touch, or just keep your feet hips width apart. Flip your palms out. Inhale, reach up. This time lift your heels up, tippy toes, palms touch. Exhale, lower everything back down towards the ground. Keep going with the breath. The inhale, reach wide and up. Find the mound of the big toes, lift up. Exhale, lower. This is actually one of my favorite postures. I just love how this makes me feel. I'm also short, so I find myself having to do this quite a bit. So if I can improve my reach to the top shelf, all the better. But it just also feels nice and lengthening through the feet, the soles of the feet, the ankles and calves. Let's try one more with your breath. Get as tall as you can. Exhale back to heart. And then relax. So we're going to go into some of the shoulder work now. So I want you to grab your strap or your scarf or your rolled towel. So you don't need to have, if you don't have anything that works for you, your arms will be free floating in space. You can still do the movements, you just won't go as deep of a stretch. So you'll take your strap, and you don't have to have a death grip on it. I'm holding mine between my index fingers and thumbs, if you can see. So I'm letting my other fingers just kind of, I'm still gripping, but I don't want to be like clenching too hard. Now it's important, when we start working on the upper half of the body, don't forget about the lower half of the body. Don't shift your awareness, spread your awareness. It's okay if you still have the insides of your feet and legs touching, or you want to open back into a hips width stance in Tadasana. You should have Tadasana in the lower half of the body. So active feet, super strong legs, nice rounded torso and pelvic area, okay? So that doesn't change. And start wider. You can always bring the hands closer together. Those of you taking care of neck and shoulders, when one shoulder says that's enough, you have to listen to it. Don't go to the shoulder that says I can go further. Stay where you're safe. Inhale, float those straps overhead. On the exhale, bring it back down. Keep going with your breath. So you're standing in Tadasana, nice strong legs, the core is in. When you're bringing that strap behind you, don't overarch your low back. So don't let your lower ribs just thrust forward and jam your hips too far forward. Stay really grounded and connected. I'm gonna kneel just for visual sake here. Inhale and you reach it. Now you can start to go a little further back depending on the mobility. That will intensify the stretch for the chest, and you'll exhale lower. So adjust your grip, wider, narrower, whatever works best for you. Those of us who want to take it a little further, you bring it back and all the way down, swimming around those shoulder joints, and then you inhale it up and back down to front. Stay connected here to the core. Don't forget about that. Strong feet, strong legs, even though we're focusing and helping to improve mobility in our shoulders and release tension. One more. Next time that strap comes down in front of the body, let's take a quick break. So you can shake out your wrists, noodle your shoulders and elbows a little bit. Good. Find your grip. Inhale. Let's bring it straight overhead. Even if you can go a little further back here, we're not quite there yet, just keep it overhead. Let your fingers be a little loose. Strong Tadasana legs, pull your belly in, lean over to your right to stretch the left. Inhale it up. Lean to your left to stretch the right. So Ardha Chandrasana, half moon. And then don't forget to look at the full moon tonight. Did you all see that moon last night? It surprised me. It came up over the trees, and it was a big yellow moon. Nice big stretch. Let the head follow in line with the spine. Bring it back up to center. Another active twist. So important to keep that core in. Breathe it in. On the exhale, rotate through the upper half of your body. So through your chest and your shoulders. The hips shouldn't necessarily turn that much. The head, the neck, and the eyes can follow. Inhale, bring it back. Keep tension on your strap. Exhale, rotate. Upper back, upper body, shoulders, head, and neck. Keep your legs super strong. One more time to each side. Exhale, twist and rotate to your right. Inhale back. And one more time to the left. Inhale back. Exhale, take a break, bring the strap down, noodle your arms, shake one hand out, shake the other hand out. So we'll do one more stretch here. Find your grip. Draw the belly in, keep your low ribs, front body to back body, root both feet equally. Inhale up. And you're gonna take it into whatever sweet spot you can find. So for me, it's about right back here that I just get this really wonderful stretch, the whole front of my front shoulder and pecs and my chest from all my digging and weed pulling today. I'm gonna let my chin float up just a little bit. I'm still connected, my glutes are slightly active to support my low back. Oh, it feels so good. Just let it open and stretch. Keep tension on your strap, big breath in. Bring it on up and exhale, let it go. Good job. Go ahead and place your strap down. I could actually stay there for a long time. I'm not going to be able to move tomorrow is what I'm realizing. I can feel the pain creeping in. It's all good, it's all worth it. So stand nice and tall, Tadasana, active, feet, legs, core. So I've done this pose, this is a Qigong pose. So this is a nice pose to help increase our energy levels, improve our metabolism. It stimulates the kidneys and the adrenal glands as well. We will let the whole body start moving with this, but just be mindful of your knees. So just gently start swinging your body around. Your arms are super wet noodles. Don't put effort into the arms. Just start, you're gonna create a pendulum effect here. Eventually you can speed this up. So I'm letting my abdominal muscles, right? The torso is doing the work. My arms are wet noodles. They're just flopping around. And you'll notice if you speed up, your arms might start to hit the lower back side of the body. So they're actually punching into your kidneys and your adrenal glands down there. So that's why this pose can be beneficial for that. And I'm letting my hips move a little bit, as long as that doesn't torque the knees. Let it flop and let it fly as much as you want. And then we just start to slow it down here until eventually your body comes back to standing. You just hang out for a moment. Let the feet stay grounded and rooted. Notice any sensations or feelings in the body. So I want us to do one more standing pose this evening. This will be another one-legged balance pose. It's called crane pose. It's a gentle fluid pose as well, so sometimes often practiced in Qigong and Tai Chi as well. And we're all blended and flow together through all of our body and mind arts. Maybe the feet or hips width apart here, or even a little bit wider. The arms are pretty soft, so your wrists and hands are, you want to pretend like you're flapping, like your arms are like the wings of a bird. We'll start with our right side. I'm still locked into my bandhas here. On the inhale, bend your right heel up in the knee, and you'll try to lift the knee up as my arms float out and up into crane pose. On the exhale, I'll bring it back down to touch or to hover. The inhale will float the knee up, and I'm just letting my foot hang down here. Exhale. One more. Oh, my bird is tipping. And this exhale, let's land softly, like you're pretending to land on the surface of the water. We don't want to make too many waves or ripples. Keep your focus and concentration. Other side, left side. Heel, knee, and arms float up as you breathe in. Exhale. Touch or float it down. Inhale, reach it up. So many beautiful boats out on the lake today. I'm pretending I'm one of those cranes flying over the lake. If you run. One more. Again, on this exhale, pretend like you're trying to land on the surface of the water as gracefully as possible without creating too many ripples. And then hold steady, keep your focus. And then release. So let's come back towards the front of our yoga mat in Tadasana. Nice strong legs, draw that low belly in, float your ears over your shoulders, shoulders over your hips. Extend your fingertips out away from you slightly. Let's all take another big breath in. Re-extend your arms overhead. Gentle back bend if you want it, gazing up. On the exhale, micro bend your knees, hinge from your hips, and swan dive now into that water, bringing your arms all the way down to whatever forward fold you're practicing. We'll take a couple Uttanasana, so over time as those muscles stretch, maybe we can dangle, go a little bit deeper. Releasing the weight of the shoulders, the weight of the world, let it all melt off the upper body. Inhale, halfway lift, strengthen the upper back, open the heart. On this exhale, we'll come all the way back down, so plant your hands, and go ahead and take a big step back to plank pose. So we have to strengthen the muscles around our shoulders if we want to reduce tension in the shoulders as well. Fingers spread wide, hands as wide as your shoulders. Kneeling plank an option, no collapsing, not an option. Push the ground away from you, pull your low belly in, squeeze your glutes. Too much on your wrists, come down to your forearm plank on your forearms, kneeling or full. Smile. We're almost there. This is the last stretch. We'll do one more nice big shoulder stretch, then we're gonna relax. Look slightly forward, happy thoughts. Squeeze all your muscles. You wanna feel a little bit of a quiver. We're waking things up. One more big breath in. Big breath out. Inhale, float your hips up and back, downward facing dog. Stretch it out for a moment. Inhale back to plank. Exhale, chaturanga or lower to your belly. From kneeling, you bend the elbows back and lower all the way onto your belly. Place your hands underneath your forehead or a temple. Point your toes, relax your heels out, give your hips a little wiggle. Just relax on your stomach for a moment. So we've done this big shoulder stretch the last couple of classes. So those of you that have come to the last couple of classes, you'll remember this pose. This is another one, just move slowly. Your body will tell you pretty quickly if you've gone far enough. So lying on our belly, extend your right arm straight up from your shoulder, palm down. The left hand presses into the ground beside you. Then we start to roll on to our right side, stacking the hips. Take support underneath your right ear if the head is uncomfortable falling towards the ground. You can place a pillow or a yoga block underneath your right ear, or just let it fall towards the ground. Stay here. Next option, bend your left knee up, plant the foot behind the right leg. Another option is to bend your right knee up as well. Oh man. Woo. Big stretch. Another option, left arm up, falls behind you, right palm turns up, you try to interweave all 10 fingers. I'm gonna bring my right leg back down. Big stretch. Can we smile? Can we breathe? Let the exhale take away any tension and tightness. You're always welcome to release the pose sooner. Big breath in. On the exhale, bring the left hand back down in front of the body. Roll back onto the belly. Stack the hands back underneath the head. Toes in, heels up, relax the buttocks, and just take a breath. Let's try the other side. Left arm stretches straight out from the shoulder, palm down. Right hand comes in front of the right shoulder. And then I push into my right hand to roll to my left. Stacking my hips. Legs can be stacked. Well, I don't know if anyone wants the visual, but I can try to show you. So right knee can bend up. Both knees can bend up. Right arm can float up. If you want to try to bring the right arm behind you, you flip the left palm up and you interweave all 10 fingers behind you. One more big, big breath. Inhale, right arm up. Exhale, hand to the ground. Roll back down onto your belly to the ground. Choose your prone relaxation. And then place your hands underneath your shoulders, tuck your toes, scoop the tailbone under, drawing your low belly in, and try to push yourself slowly back up. And sit back to child's pose. Try to keep the knees together if that's comfortable, sitting hips to heels, and this time sliding your hands back to your feet, rounding the head all the way down to the ground. And then let the weight of the arms flop down to the ground, so the shoulders are just melting over those thigh bones to stretch them out. Hands under shoulders, tuck the chin. Inhale, curl it on up. Sitting back on those heels. Shift your weight over to either hip. We'll slide those feet forward. So time to work our way back down to the ground. If you take care of your low back, the best way to come down is to roll to one side and use your hands to come down. You can hang out on your back and wait for us doing whatever you want to do. Those of us that want to add that little extra core work, we did a shorter plank tonight, let you up easy, so it's real tired. Plant your feet to the floor, the knees fall open wider than the hips, draw the belly and swoop the tail. Reach it forward, and you're using your abdominal muscles to try to round down, nice and slow, vertebra by vertebra. Once the head touches down, extend both arms overhead. Stretch both heels forward. Spread your fingers, spread your toes, stretch everything out. On the exhale, float those arms down. Draw the shoulder blades down. Walk the feet in. Hug your knees in. Happy baby pose. Reaching up for the feet. Soles of the feet to the ceiling. Knees and thighs hang heavy beside the body. Just rocking side to side, giving our hips a little bit more opening here. Try to stretch one leg out at a time as you lean to that side. Try to stretch both legs back out. Supta Konasana, wide angle stretch. Move your hands to the inner thighs or outer thighs if needed. Release the grip of the feet. Exhale, legs together, waterfall pose. Point, flex your feet, another gentle inversion. Maybe notice any changes in how we feel this time practicing this pose from when we first started. And then let's exhale, draw those knees into the chest. Float the nose up to the knees, stretching out the whole back. Try to wrap your arms across the shin bones, taking hold of opposite elbows or wrists, giving our body a wonderful big hug this evening, thanking ourselves and our bodies, filling ourselves up with gratitude. Big breath in. And on the exhale, let it go. Feel the weight of the body sink to the ground. I'm gonna just stay here now. Just kidding. You can add props. Support the back of your head with a pillow. Put a pillow underneath your knees and thighs. I talked about doing some belly pranayama, but we move into Shavasana. I would like us all to practice that. So if you have a heavier yoga block, or a nice big heavy book, that would be ideal. So once you have your legs supported, your head supported, any other props that you want to incorporate, we'll start with our prop on our belly and then move it off once you are comfortable, or leave it there. It doesn't really matter. So make all your adjustments in your Shavasana. Loosen up that clothing, always important, no tightness. Find the very back center of the head. Eye coverings, eye pillows, washcloths, add those now as well. Blankets. Just take a few moments, we're in no rush. So I'll guide us through a few rounds of this belly breathing into our Shavasana. Then I'll give us several moments of just some peace and quiet to relax, and finishing with bringing us out of Shavasana with my singing bowl, and then we'll wrap things up from there. So hopefully you're nice and comfy. Remember, get the wiggles out in the beginning so that we can find stillness in the end. You're taking your book or block or your hands right across the lower belly. It's okay if it's right on top of the belly button, but I want it to be in the lower half of the abdomen. Arms may also fall down beside the body just like you would in Shavasana with the palms turned up. Draw the shoulder blades down. Lengthen out that low back. Let the weight of the body flop to the ground. Relax all the muscles of the face. Poof the cheeks, wiggle out the mouth, the tongue, the jaw. Let the fingertips curl up naturally if they're on the floor. Notice all the contact points with your body and the floor. And relax those points 10% more. Now start to feel the book on your belly. The breath will continue to flow evenly in and out through the nose. And as you breathe in, intentionally try to lift the book up using your belly, lifting it up towards the ceiling. And as you breathe out, let the weight of the book fall back down into the body. Inhale, breathing, belly expands, lifting the book up as high as we can. Exhale, drawing the book back down into the body. Smooth, even breath. The inhale lifts the book up as high as possible, which allows the diaphragm to drop down, pulling that breath deep in the lungs. And then bringing that book back down into the body, pushes the diaphragm up, pushing all the stale old air out of the lungs. You are moving at your own comfortable pace. Just practicing a minute belly breathing a day has shown to reduce stress and anxiety levels up to 75% in patients. It has a very calming effect on the mind and body. Everything else completely relaxed. Mind super focused on the movement of the belly with the breath. If the mind wanders, gently bring it back to the breath. And for just one more moment of our day, we give ourselves permission to let go, to feel a sense of surrender, and simply be and breathe. Gently coming back to the breath. Breathing life back into the body as we wake up the toes, fingertips, rocking the head side to side. Reaching the arms overhead one more time to stretch everything out. The whole right side, the whole left side. Walking the feet in, hugging the knees in to massage the back. Right arm falls beside the head, rolling all the way over onto that right side into Supta Balasana, cradling the head on the arm, left hand to the floor in front of the heart. Pausing a moment. Keeping the eyes soft or closed, press into the ground to bring the body back up. Sitting in any comfortable seated posture. Being mindful of our surroundings, we want to sit up nice and tall for the crown of the head. Re-extend those arms out from the side, the body, palms up. Take another big breath in together. As we reach those arms up towards the ceiling, let's gather up everything we need for the rest of our evening. Turning the palms back out and taking an even bigger breath out, float the fingertips all the way back down to the floor and let go of all that other junk we don't need. And let's take one more big breath together. Inhale, arms up, filling ourselves up. Palms touch, exhaling hands to heart, humbly bowing the head to the heart to honor and thank ourselves, our bodies, each other, and anyone else that made it possible for us to practice yoga together today. Feel free in joining me in chanting the Om Shanti mantra if you like. Deep breath in through the nose. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Sri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om Tat Tat. And I thank each and every one of you so much for all of your patience, your practice, for being here with me this evening. If you're still here, I have been signed out because I've been signed in from another advice. Oh no! Are you guys still here? That was an abrupt ending to class.
Yes, this is Vidya. I'm still here.
Oh, sorry. Okay, good. Sorry, guys. All right, we're back. I just got a big notice on my screen that said, you've been signed out. And I was like, how long have I been signed out for? I've been like,
We're there.
Yay. Well, those of you that are still here, I promised if you stuck with me, I would show you what the lake looks like. Who wants to see what's happening out on the lake?
Yes. Yeah.
Yay, let's go see. It's such a pretty evening. My computer's heating up. So this is my view. Can you see it?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Is that Travis?
Lake Travis. There were a bunch of boats out. They all just disappeared. So this is my yard that needs a lot of help. That's my little pagoda and bird bath, all the brown grass. I worked all day. But yeah, so that's Lake Travis.